Hi, everyone. I'm Ginger Bailey, psychic medium, and your host today. And we have the most talented and amazing psychic medium, Nicole Schwartz, and she's going to be
Hi.
answering questions today on Air India Flight 171. And then we have our one and only Erik who's in Afterlife, and he's going to help with these
Mhm.
questions, among some other people, I'm sure, that will pop in. So hi Nicole, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Eric's
And
here and he says, "Hey, what's up, Ginger?"
yeah. Hey Erik. Yeah, he's been kind of like being silly all morning. Like he's got his moments where he'll be kind of hyper and then he'll have like these silly moments. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He's like, long
Yeah,
time no
yeah,
see.
yeah, keep me all wound up, get me wound up. So but anyway, let me read a little bit about this. It's just a little short thing here about it, okay? Um the Air India Flight 171 crash. It was a scheduled passenger flight from, let's see if I can say this right, Ahmedabad, as I say, Ahmedabad Airport in India to London Gatwick Airport in the United Kingdom. It crashed 32 seconds after takeoff at 13:39 Indian Standard Time on June 12th, 2025. All but one of the 230 passengers and all 12 crew members died. So there was one survivor. So we have some questions here on this. So if you're ready, we'll start.
hmm
All right.
yes, I'm ready. Eric's here too, and he's bringing in the pilot, the head pilot, to come in and answer the questions. Um, he said if all the collective would come in, just the energy would be chaotic. He says he has a story
Yeah.
to tell.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So the first question is, what is the mystery behind the crash? And this is a big question. I'm going to read it and then we can go through it. Okay.
Okay.
How did it occur? In the crash report put out by the Indian Air Investigation investigators, they stated the fuel cutoff switches were transitioned from on to off. Was this caused by an electrical or software malfunction, or did the captain turn them off manually? And then it says also, if it was a software or electrical problem, what was the cause of it? So back to the beginning, what is the mystery behind the crash? Is there a mystery behind the crash? And so on.
Okay. So he's coming through heavily. I'm just going to read off and maybe a lot of it will answer the questions, whatever he comes through. But
Okay.
before he says that, he goes, Eric's like, I want to stop. And I was like, okay. So numerology, the 171, if you add that up, he's saying that equals 9. If you add June 12th, if you add all those together, that equals 9. Like 6 plus 1 plus 2
Yeah.
equals 9.
It's so weird. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was getting stuff about numerology with this case too.
Yeah, so nine,
It's
what is that?
trippy.
Endings, so it's interesting that that was there first. But okay, so Eric's going, okay, you can talk now to the pilot. The captain, or if you want to say, okay, so the pilot, the captain, the head pilot had a lot of mental health issues, a lot that went untreated. I don't know how old he was, but never was treated for anything like that.
Mhm.
He was mentally unstable. And I am picking up that he had schizoaffective disorder as well as borderline personality disorder. So mixing those, it's like a interesting cocktail to say the least.
Mhm.
He's saying he felt as if he couldn't tell anybody because he would lose his license. And if he was on medication, he wouldn't be able to fly. I don't know if there's some rules in India or somewhere. If you're on certain medications, you're not able to because of the
Oh, I'm
passengers,
sure.
which makes
Oh, I'm
sense.
sure. Yeah.
So he tried to go in on against this for a while, but then he would have, manic episodes at night. And this is where it all led down to. So he did not want to land the plane safely. He did not intend to. He has been, he's showing me, he goes, I was just out of my mind. He goes, there's nothing that could have saved me because I was just so far gone. I felt like I couldn't ask for help because of some uh stigma, he's saying. He felt like what everyone would look at him differently. He would lose his job. He
Yeah.
just felt like he's already dead. So, anyways, he was saying that he was just go planning things for, he's showing me about like 3 to 6 months. And then a
So
lot
this
of
was
these,
planned. So this was a
yeah.
planned situation.
So he was very manic and he would have these like journals and writing down, he's like, this is what would happen, and have these diagrams and graphs and stuff. And it was just very interesting because if you would talk to him and be like, hey, how are you? I'm doing what? Like it would be night and day. Like you had
Yeah.
no idea. He masked it very well.
Yeah.
So he was saying
Wow.
he, until the final moments of his life, um, he planned this just for himself and he wanted to do it by himself on a rounds. And he knew there was going to be some, casualties, collateral damage. He was thinking maybe, which is, again, he was not stable in his right mind. He was thinking maybe 4 people, maybe some
Mhm.
flight attendant and, the co-captain. Didn't think he was going to do it on a flight with so many passengers, but it happened. And when he was going forward with what he was thinking, he was not intending for them to be collateral damage, but then again, they were.
Yeah.
And he's showing me that he tampered with some switch. Um, I'm getting it was like a gas line switch, something switch that made um it's like
Yeah, the cut.
fuse switch
Yeah, it's showing
or
like a fuel
something.
cutoff. Fuel cutoff. A
Yeah,
fuel
yeah.
cutoff. Yeah.
And he said he was able to rig it in a way where when they said all call, all check, his co it was like on, but he was able to switch it right off after that. So when they went up, he was not intending them to safely land. So it would, he said, he's showing me like implode, explode. So wherever he's like, gravity took them and there was no umph, he says, like things didn't kick on that was supposed to kick on and they just went straight down. And it said he looked over at his co-pilot, he said, and he's saying, I'm sorry. And then that was the last words he said. Because I think, yeah, yeah. Okay, he's showing me that the co-pilot knew what was going on right as it was too late, so there was nothing he could do. So then he looked
Yeah.
over and said he was sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I kind of feel that like that kind of feeling that you would assume like where you're being pushed to do something like you it's like almost like you're outside of your body, like your body's
right,
like pushing to do it, like I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it, but then you do
right,
it.
right.
Like I just feel that kind of energy around it.
It
Like it
was
would like just very spontaneous in a way.
yes, yes. It
Yeah.
was like didn't know which one. It was like, okay, today's the day. So he
Yeah.
had, even though he had the, it didn't, he didn't plan, okay, it's gonna be this one, some,
Yeah.
not until he got the call, I guess, that okay, this is the flight, because he's showing me there was supposed to be another flight he was supposed to take that was only supposed to be, like you said before, a co-captain and
Yeah.
himself and a couple other people. But they did cover it up because it was a um even though it was a malfunction in their software, when they were able to receive a lot of recordings and stuff, they knew something was up. So there
Yeah.
was a lot of
Yeah.
cover up with this from the airline industry. And so they wouldn't further scare people
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
flying and trusting
Yeah.
their pilots.
Right. Right. Yeah, I assume there usually is with anytime something like this happens.
Yeah. And
Um,
he says he goes, I mean, as terrible as it is, he's like, I'm on the other side now. He's like, it was such a tragedy. I feel like I owe all these families everything, but I don't have anything. He's saying, he goes, I hope in my next life he's able to do some good and able to get through what he's been going through.
Yeah. Well, so then that answers the question if you turned them off manually in that question, or if it was a software electrical problem. Sounds like there was a combination though. Sounds like a combination of that because even though he manually did that, there was still some kind of electrical problem to where things didn't turn back on,
He
like they
rigged
should
it.
have.
He
Okay.
rigged it.
Okay.
Yeah, he like
Okay.
did something where it's like he short switched it or something.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So,
He's
all
showing
right.
me like click, click, click.
Oh, oh, okay. All right. Okay, so next question. Was the sole contract of the survivor a passenger 11A? And this is funny, is the numerology a coincidence? So again, with the numerology, so that's interesting. Something I was going to say really quick, is if you think about it, 11A, so 11A, that would be like 111,
One,
wouldn't
one,
it?
one. Right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's
That
what I
is so
thought.
funny.
And I don't
But
know a
yeah,
lot about numerology, but that's what I was getting from that was
yeah,
remark.
no, that is definitely, it's like um right place, right time. You're right where you're supposed to be. Your angels are with you. You're guided. You're
Yeah,
protected.
yeah,
And that's what I'm getting to. He lost a sibling, I want to say, somebody, and he's coming through, and he's like, yeah, he was protected. But as awful as it is, he was the only survivor. Like, it's such a tragedy he's had to go through. But he's saying, and losing a sibling as that, he's saying his brother's always with him.
yeah,
And Eric's like, just like I'm always with my siblings all the time.
yeah, yeah. So, so something in this question I was thinking about, it says, was it a sole contract, or is it a coincidence? I don't ever see a coincidence. Eric usually says, like, I know you've
There's
heard
no
that too.
coincidence.
Yeah, that there's no
Yeah,
coincidences,
it
that
is a
it,
soul it is.
okay, okay,
So they all entered this together,
yeah,
as a collective, but they all had, it was weird because it's interesting because it's kind of, Eric showing me it's similar to a um, different story because somebody else, different story that I channeled. He's saying because somebody else was a part of the, termination of somebody's death. Like it
right,
wasn't, but they all chose to get on that plane. That's the thing. So
right,
that's their
right.
choice. And then it was the, pilot's choice to,
Right. And when it's a contract, there's going to be different things that happen that get you to that point,
right. So
when
it's
it's meant to
inevitable,
be. Yeah. Right. So next question. Did the pilot respons okay, this isn't, I can't, it doesn't make sense. Did the pilot responsible crash the plane on purpose? The way it was written, there wasn't like a stop there. It was like, okay,
Oh,
it's just reading through.
I was
Uh,
trying to think. I'm like, what?
yeah, crash the plane on purpose. And
Yes.
we covered that. We talked about that.
Yeah.
How long had the pilot planned this, or was it impulsive action? And we covered
It's a
some
little
of
bit of,
it, but
yeah, it's a little bit of both because he showed me 3 to 6 months. Like there was like intricate, like I said, drawings and things and how things can switch and how you can short switch it where you couldn't show it because it was not a new plane, it was an older plane. So he was able to, you know, manipulate some factors going
right,
forward.
right.
Um,
Was it this exact flight, or was it like it wasn't like a pinpointed flight, right? Just like it was going to
no, but
happen
they use the same
eventually.
planes.
Yeah. Okay.
It
I
wasn't a
see what
bit.
you
He wanted one of the,
mean.
so it's not like
Like you didn't plan
say
out, oh, on this date when this flight happens. It wasn't like that.
no.
Yeah, it was just
No, it was more of
impulsive.
an impulse, like, yeah, today's the day, but it was always like, oh, could be today, could be tomorrow, could be the next
Yeah.
day, but it
Okay.
was
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Know
he was
that.
planning it for about 3 to 6 months before it actually took place.
Okay. All right. Um, was the pilot mentally ill? We've covered that. If so, which disease? We've covered that, so we can move on from that one. Let's see. how did the 11A passengers survive? Like, how did that happen? Where was some of the, um, was there some unnatural power to save him from the catastrophic event, or what do you see with that?
So I'm getting nobody felt anything. So when the plane ultimately crashed, no one felt anything, and the person who lived was unconscious, so they didn't feel a thing. Um, I'm getting where their seat was in a place where the engine wouldn't affect his show me the chair, like it wouldn't affect where he was. So when the plane, dismembered, it was able to. He's showing.
I see like a pocket, like he's in a pocket of some
Yeah, it's like
kind.
weird. It's like he's
Yeah,
showing me like he was say like how he. I don't know if that row, even though other people in that row were not able to make it, there was something. Um, I don't know if he was on the left or the right, but it's showing me like something towards the left that he didn't hit.
encased
And
him.
yeah, there was something that he was, but he's showing me his chair as well. Like it all just acts like a huge, show me like a cloud cushion. But
Yeah,
because
do
he,
you feel, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but do you feel like angelic energy around him too? Because I feel like it's part of the plane, but I feel something energetic. Don't you feel that?
yes,
Yeah,
I do. I feel
yeah,
like you said, what was he? Um, I feel like he was guided a little bit. Like he was protected. So his angels and his guides were with him. They're like, nope, it's not your time yet. So
yeah,
then they made sure he didn't, land in a way where he's going to be paralyzed, land in a way where he had something going through him or any
yeah. So he was protected.
traumatic thing like that. So it's no coincidence, like Eric says, there's no
Yeah,
coincidences.
yeah. I
And
think,
11 is connection with the divine.
yeah,
So
right, right. Okay, so what is the mystery behind the crash? This is a repeat, I guess. How did it occur? So we answered that. Was terrorism involved in this
no,
disaster? No.
no. That guy was just he's mentally ill, unmedicated, did not do anything to help his cause whatsoever. And then the high stress of his job, it was just like terrible turmoil.
Okay. All right. So around 3 to 4 global plane and helicopter crashes have occurred recently. Does all of these have any coincidences? Like, are they connected? Are not coincidences? Sorry, connections. Learn to read, Ginger.
Not directly. So there's a lot of things, more action going on in the air and our orbit, even, things happening in outer space, like different things are happening all around us always. So
Not really connected though to the
it's
each
not,
other.
but I mean, no, he says there's no connection.
Okay.
There's no
Yeah,
connection.
yeah, I don't feel one either. I feel like that they all have their own individual unique reasons.
Yeah.
And everything has a spiritual reason, of course. Okay, so what's the life lesson for family members of crash victims and the rest of us all? Um, what can you say on that? It's probably different for everybody, right? I mean,
Yeah.
unique individual
Yeah,
lesson.
Eric's just saying, you know, when you put your lives in the hands of others, you always have to be cautious. You always have to make sure, go with your gut with a lot of things. If something feels off and you feel like you've seen something and the pilots or the captains going forward aren't very nice to you, or you just feel like there's something off, listen to your gut
Yeah,
because yes, this happened and it happened because it was supposed to happen. Terrible things happen all the time, but Eric's just going to show like look what happened with 9/11. I mean, the families are still suffering because of
Hmm.
that traumatic event, but that had nothing to do with, I mean, he's just showing me families and how people grieve. And they said
Yeah,
just remember them and what joy they brought because no plane crash is, you
more than
know,
another,
yeah,
more or
it's
less.
just respect who they were and then just honor their life and just know that they're in a better place and just don't live your life full of fear because if you do and you feel like oh my god this
Yeah,
pilot's going to crash the plane like you're going to bring that into your you're going to bring all these negative vibrations and you're going to like lower yourself lower your
yeah.
frequency.
And it does happen. I mean, you
It
see this.
does.
People that see these things happening on the news and it scares them not to fly, you know. But it's if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen.
It
So,
is.
there's reasons behind it. Um, So I feel like too that the lessons for people that are connected to those that they lost that are individualized and unique. Something I was feeling was anytime there's suffering, you're going to get some kind of growth. It's going to put you on a spiritual
Right.
path. A lot of people are waking up because of this,
Right.
being on a spiritual path. So there's always something positive that comes from something that you can look at as negative, if you
Yeah,
want to call it that.
exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, was the plane crashing into a medical college also a soul contract?
Yes, and it's no coincidence. Eric keeps saying
Yeah.
he's doing it as a joke. He's trying to get your attention, Ginger. He said no, but and that's one of the reasons why, a medical college, but they're equipped. I, he's showing me that the person who lived, that's one of the main reasons why is because of that.
Because of the area or where they landed, because there was medical personnel
Yes.
around
So he
on
was able
on
to get the
site.
attention. Yes. So that even though some suffered
I
and
see.
passed away because of this, he was able to get some emergency response team and everything to come out rather than being in a field or in the middle of the water somewhere where the
Hmm.
Coast Guard or somebody wouldn't be able to get them
Right,
or
right,
middle of the desert somewhere where nobody could get them.
right. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Were the medical students who departed also part of the contract? Probably yes,
Yes,
too.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was kind of like he's just showing me Eric's just very visual. So he's showing me, I hate bringing this up because it's such a traumatic and tragedy that happened,
Mhm.
but 9/11. So, the people that in the Twin Towers, they were a part of that contract as well. And they passed even if they were not in the plane. So he was showing me like the
The
same
connection.
thing.
Okay.
But he
Okay.
wants to say no terrorism. There's no terrorism. Okay.
Right.
Just,
Right.
he just wanted
Right.
to say that.
Absolutely. Get that. So, okay. How legit is the black box audio recording released and has it been tampered with?
Eric's and the pilot, both pilots are here. And Eric's saying yes, as well as they are, it has been tampered with.
Yeah, I feel like
They,
they only let out certain things.
yeah, they like paused it, skirt,
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
it, skirt, like manipulated it.
Yeah, and I feel like too that that's still an investigation, kind of. I mean, they're
Hmm.
still looking into this, so there's only so much they're gonna let out too. But I do feel that
Right.
kind of like cover up.
Yeah, because they don't want
Mm.
to, Eric's showing they don't want to put themselves under a bigger, lawsuit than they already under.
Okay, so did the passengers intuitively know that they were about to exit the Earth plane before boarding the plane? Did they see signs and or synchronicities?
Turning, can't talk
Kind of
today.
reminds me of that. Kind of
He's making
reminds
me laugh.
that movie.
He's like,
Final Destination. That movie, I'm sorry. He's showing that movie, Final Destination. Like
yeah,
it
but he's saying
doesn't.
tuning into the collective energy, it's
Yeah.
like the crash, yes, on some level, but it's like they all knew at a certain point. Not right when they sat down, putting their bags up and everything,
Yeah.
but there was something weird that happened, or like I'm seeing like lights on top, like doo, 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 doo. I don't know, it was something, and it was like they were like, what? And it was like everything started chaotic after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I think that that would also be an individual thing too. Like some people are more in tune and aware of
It is, because I mean,
things.
I that it
Yeah.
is, and that is very true, because some people are very observant, and they can be like, look, with numerology, like, let me see
Yeah.
that. Or some
Yeah.
people can be like, wait, th- that chair's red out there. I thought it was yellow.
Yeah.
Like, they can be
Yeah.
so very 3D, and
Not aware.
right, these are my
Just like,
hands,
"Oop."
these are my
Yeah.
fingers, that's it.
Yeah.
Not like,
Yeah.
wow, what is that person doing? Why did that
Yeah.
go on?
Yeah.
Very, I don't know,
Or in
but there's a
tune,
lot of
or in
very,
tune
and
with their
yeah,
own gut
yeah.
too. Like maybe
That's
like
what I'm saying,
something's
more
off, but they
intuitive.
don't know. Like something's
Right,
off. Like I feel something weird, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is, kind of thing.
right,
Right. So
for sure.
individually. Is the government or Air India or Boeing trying to cover it up? We kind of covered that already. So there
Hmm.
is somewhat of a cover up going on, right?
I feel like with Air India more than, and then I don't, I'm seeing older Boeing plane, but not them specifically, because for some reason I feel like they were supposed to phase some planes out and they didn't. And they kept
Mm.
using them to make money.
Oh, okay. All right. Is there any spiritual way we can avoid being part of such a tragedy? Kind of
Eric is
touched on that
saying,
a little bit.
yeah, but honestly, just live your life, and just live your life with so much joy, and just, things are going to happen to you in your everyday life. Your life is
Right,
not going to be
right.
a
And yeah, and you can't stop, right? You
exactly.
can't
So
stop.
life's going to be like up, down, up, down, up, and down. You're going to be sad. You're going to be happy. You're going to be mad. That's just life.
Yeah,
And
there's not
it's
much you can do to
inevitable.
stop it. Yeah,
Right.
right,
But
right.
how
I
you
agree.
respond to things around you is how you can change how things can happen around you in the future. So if you're like,
Right,
okay,
it's
this is,
true.
invite more positive things into your life, invite more gratitude, be grateful for more things, that really rewires your brain and helps you, create the reality you want.
Right, right. That's true. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what can we learn from this disaster? I'm sure there's a billion things. There's so many things you can learn from any kind of disaster, including this one.
Yeah, just, you never know what's going to happen. You just have to keep living your life and keep living your joy, but know that, yes, things can happen. And yes, we all have different things going on, but Eric's showing me mental health. He goes, mental health, please. He's like, that is not a
Mm,
stigma anymore. Like, if you feel you are burnt out, if you feel you don't feel like yourself, or you feel like something else could help you, medications are tools. So if you do
yeah,
have a diagnosis or a disorder, there's nothing wrong with you. It's showing you, okay, yes, there's just something else I can overcome, and just look at it with strength. But he's showing me the stigma with like mental health medications is
yeah.
huge, and a lot of it is,
Especially
you
in
know,
especially in India. Like they have a
yeah,
big problem with that in their
that's what,
culture.
yeah, and I think that's, no, no. Yeah, Eric's like, you don't think, yeah, the pilot's like, yeah, but that's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
He goes,
it's
I couldn't
huge.
say
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
He said I would have got fired.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like too that it's not even just on his job level, it's
It's
also,
a cultural, yeah,
yeah,
like,
culture,
oh, well, you're
family,
looking at me, I'm taking
friends.
medication, that I'm lower than you, or I
Yeah.
feel like I'm not man enough, or
Yeah.
I can't,
Yeah.
if I feel vulnerable, then I can't help my
I am
family and
vulnerable.
provide for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, crazy stigma.
Right. Okay. So, for what reason only one person survived? What is the reason this one person survived? Probably to tell their story, maybe, and among other
Yeah.
things, right?
Eric's saying so he can show people what it's like to legit come out of burning ashes and rise again, like the phoenix.
Wow.
He
Wow.
is
Yeah.
he suffered a tremendous loss, not just being in this accident and having PTSD probably for, I don't know how long until he's okay.
Probably
And but
survivor
yeah, that
guilt
too.
type
And
things,
his
right?
and then his brother and his I'm getting a um brother,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah. That's the next one. Yeah. Talking about
Is
his
it
brother.
is it
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, brother, I'm getting that,
Yeah. It says a
passed
person.
away, but they're still very close, and he shows him signs all the time.
Yeah.
And
See that.
the
Yeah.
person who lived is very intuitive, is very connected, and they're very more deep diving into this new
Even more so
wow.
now, right? Like even more so now. It says the person who survived lost his brother. What can the survivor learn from this tragic loss? Many
We're
things.
always going to be with them, as terrible as it was, it just goes to show that there is a heaven. There is somebody out there looking over, his brother and guiding his brother because he lived,
Mhm.
So for that to happen, it's just it's just incredible. Um,
Yeah, I
Eric's
feel
saying
like,
it's going to
go
take a
ahead.
while for
Yeah.
him to.
Yeah, I feel like he's got a long process for this because of
Mhm.
letting go of that guilt that he's in, but that's also part of growing, you know.
Right.
So he's got a lot going on. Was it a lesson that, let me see this question here. Was it a lesson that Pakistan, whoever it's doing that, whoever wanted to teach Prime Minister Modi, as it was impossible thing to fail both engines unless it was an inside job someone carefully handled? So was it like planned for that? We talked about not being that,
I
right?
don't. Eric's saying no, and the pilot's saying no. It's like inside job. He worked there. He knew, and when you're going, he's showing me when you go through a manic episode, every detail about what's going on through. Okay, what is this plan like? Okay, it's like this, it's like this. Okay. And then he created
Yeah.
these diagrams he's showing me, and he's like, okay, and they have this, and it's like inside job. He's like, I was the inside job.
Did they ever find these, or will they ever find these? Did they destroy them? I'm curious about that. Like, do they ever maybe
I
see these
th-
things that he did?
they will.
Okay.
He didn't destroy them.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it won't all be shown though, like to the
It won't.
public.
Mm-mm. It's gonna
Oh,
be hush hush.
yeah, right. Like what they
Mhm.
find isn't all going to be exposed. I'm curious if anyone was allowed to leave their body before impact, is one of the questions somebody asked. I mean, that's common with
No one felt the crash. They
trauma.
um some were in transitioning. Some transitioned and were able to see. But yes, they all, and their
Like
bodies were, their
like some leave.
souls,
Yeah, some
yeah,
souls will leave
rise.
before it even hits, before the tragedy even happens. I could
Right.
see that happening, absolutely. Were the fuel cutoff switches turned off by someone else? Example, a spirit or other than pilots.
No.
We talked about that already. So why, okay, so we're getting to the last question here. Why are so many plane crashes coming out of India? And I feel like that's not accurate. You know what I mean?
No, there's plane crashes everywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
But a lot of it's not, a lot of pilots don't recognize their mental health, or they won't tell them, be like, hey, I need
yeah,
something, or
yeah.
hush hush about it because of the issue, or it's against
Give
their
me
cultural. If
right. I
they
mean, a
want to say in
common,
India, but
Right, it's a
it's everywhere.
combination. Right, it's a
Mhm.
combination of things. Usually, it's not always the exact same reason these crashes are happening.
Right,
Every one of them has an individual reason behind it, right?
right.
It's individualized, unique.
Hmm.
Um, you
Everything
know,
is individualized and unique.
right, right. But I don't see it either. I don't see it being just mostly out of there. I think that some are more, maybe if they happen, closely together, it may look like that. But if you were to look at the statistics, you would find maybe bigger countries having this
Right.
happening, like Russia or maybe even America. But, I'm just thinking like someplace big that has more planes. So I don't think that
Yeah.
they're the most. So, okay, so do you or Eric or the pilots, anyone have any last things they want to talk about or say to close?
The one pilot who was responsible was he does, you know, he wants to say he's sorry and he's wants to tell the families and friends of all the departed that he wish he would have got help for things so it wouldn't have gotten so bad. So he had to do that and take other people's lives. He goes, I was not, he goes, who am I? He goes, I'm not in the, he goes, once, I was not in the right state of mind, but two, who am I to do that? Like I did that. He goes, that was just such a, he's just showing me, I don't know, he's like really like upset. He's showing me, he's like, I just can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like when it's meant to be, though, when it's a contract, that even if it didn't happen at that moment, that all these people did have a fate in this way of some
they
kind,
did,
right?
yeah. But he
Um,
feels, I mean, because he did it, but
right,
the
right,
bigger
but he has
picture
to feel that.
now, yeah.
He has to
Hmm.
feel that with like his life review, and he has to see that because it was partly free will, but also
Right.
contractual. So,
And that's what, yeah,
and the
that's
time,
what he was showing me. The
yeah,
free
that
will,
makes
I mean, the
sense.
free will, the life review was, that's where he was like, that's why he's saying,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like he didn't realize how many, you know,
Oh, I'm
lives
sure
he destroyed or her,
his belief system too was probably not
Right.
like, oh, this is what happens when you die, kind of thing, right? We didn't touch
Exactly.
on that. We didn't touch on the belief system. So I'm sure his belief system, from what I'm feeling, wasn't like what he thought it was going to be.
Right.
So that makes sense too, for that struggle.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Nicole, and thank you,
Thank
Eric,
you.
and
Eric's
thank you.
like, you are welcome. And he's like, remember, there's no coincidences.
Yes, no, none. Um, and also make sure you subscribe, like, we're almost to 100K.
Yes.
Excited.
Yes, please
Um,
like and subscribe. You
and
could
comment
be the
and
lucky
comment.
winner.
Yeah, put a heart or something. Just you don't even have to say anything. If you do, be nice. Just be
Yes, be kind.
nice.
And my trusty pen that I love to write with,
Yeah.
doing sessions, not my phone, just letting you guys know.
Yeah, I know. That's funny.
I know.
All right. So, okay, well, thank you. And love you all. Eric's going, I hear him going, love you all. Love you
Yeah, he's like,
all.
love you. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.